Hello, everyone, and welcome. And we are going to be reading, or I'm going to be reading for you, the Unit 3 Minerals and Rocks test. So, as we go along, make sure you've got your screen up as well. You can just play me kind of in the background. Pause me as I go as you need to, and always please go back and rewind me if you need to hear something again. So, here we go. You're going to answer each of the following questions, and the first one, fairly easy. Put your first name in, put your last name in, and then tell me what period do you belong to. Those three are fairly easy. But here we go. Your first true test question. Kelly is walking on the beach when she finds an interesting rock. She picks it up, examines it, and wonders what type of rock it is and how the rock was formed. What type of rock did Kelly find, and how can you tell? So you're going to take a look at the picture, tell me what kind of rock she has, and then tell me what type of rock it is using some evidence from that picture. All right, our second question here is Salia is creating a diagram to show how rocks go through the steps of the rock cycle. Her diagram shows the processes that occur to change rocks from one type into another. Do rocks always follow the same steps when they go through the rock cycle? Support your answer with information from the diagram. So do rocks always go through the same steps of the rock cycle? So is it always step 1, step 2, step 3? And support your answer with the diagram. All right, our third question. Uriah is exploring a cave. He observes a beautiful rock formation called a column. Did the crack in the column of the rock occur slowly or quickly? What type of event would most likely be responsible for causing this to happen to the rock column? So was this a quick break or a slow break? And then what do you think caused it to occur? And the last question in this section, which process is responsible for causing this column of rock to form? So what made this column originally occur? Is it crystallization, deposition, sedimentation, weathering? Again, if you need me to pause me to go back and read something or to reread something, rewind me and go on back. Here we go, section 2. Sam is creating a computer model to present to his classmates so they can compare the properties of each layer of Earth. So you're going to use that information to answer a couple of questions. The blank should be the thickest layer of Sam's model. Your 4 choices are outer core, inner core, mantle, crust. It is a drop down, so pull it down and pick which word should belong there. Second question in this section. The blank should be the thinnest layer of the model. Again, it's a drop down, so the first choice is inner core, then crust, mantle, outer core. Our third question is just a little bit different. Sam is not sure what the difference is between the inner core and the outer core. Read each word or phrase and choose the best response by checking either inner or outer core. So we've got a group of words here, a group of phrases, and they either describe the inner core or the outer core, and your job is to pick which one is describing. It is solid. Is that the inner core or the outer core? Liquid, The middle description is hottest layer. The fourth one, under the most pressure. And the last one, which core causes the magnetic field? So go ahead and make sure you've got a check mark for each of the 5 descriptions. It's only describing one, so I shouldn't see 2 in one row. Sam is watching a video in order to understand how convection in the mantle of Earth occurs. The video shows rock rising and sinking to make convection currents in the mantle. Which process is responsible for causing rock to rise? Rock is heated. Rock rapidly cools off. Rock increases in density. Rock undergoes intense pressure. So the last question in section 2. If you need anything in section 2 reread, stop me, rewind me, and go back. Go into section 3. Which of the following can occur after a rock is weathered? It forms metamorphic rock. It melts and forms igneous rock. The sediment can form magma. It gets compacted and forms sedimentary rock. The second question in section 3, how can pressure cause rocks to change? Select the words that correctly complete the sentence. So you've got a drop down here. You got to pick the right one from the drop down menu. The cementing of small pieces of rock or shell causes blank rock to form. Is it metamorphic, igneous, sedimentary, or magma? Again, another drop down, so you're going to pick the right word to fill in the blank. How can pressure cause rocks to change? Select the words that correctly complete the sentence, and here's your sentence. When rocks are buried below the surface, pressure combined with heat causes blank rock to form. Is it metamorphic, igneous, magma, or sedimentary? Our next question. A geologist found some interesting rocks in a cave he was working in and took some samples back to the lab. He examined the samples and sorted them into rocks and minerals. Read each description of the rocks and minerals he found and then check if the description is for a rock or a mineral. So you're going to get a list you're going to get a description. You need to tell me if that is describing a rock, which is column 1, or a mineral, which is column 2. Okay, the first description, made of a crystal structure, made of particles called grains. There are more than 5,000 types. 3 main types that are based on how they are formed. And the last one can be left behind when bodies of water evaporate. Evan examines a diagram of the rock cycle in his science textbook. He wonders how he can connect what he has learned about matter and energy to the rock cycle. Which statement explains what happens to material as it moves through the stages of the rock cycle? New matter is being created all the time. The same matter is recycled over and over. Eventually, the broken down matter disappears. Old matter is destroyed and new matter takes its place. Maria gets a kit that lets you grow a mineral. The instructions say to pour a packet of liquid into a small container and to place the container in a sunny area. Maria follows the directions, and when the liquid evaporates, when the liquid evaporates, she observes tiny materials that are left behind in the container. What is this process called? Is it oxidation, crystallization, altering minerals, organic mineral formation? All right, this next one's a little bit tricky, so listen closely. A teacher is explaining the steps in the process of convection to her class. Think of heat from Earth's core as the step that comes before convection. Number the sentences below to put the steps of rock formation by convection in the order in which they occur. So you're looking for the chronological order, the first, then, next steps. Okay? Think. Remember, you are thinking of heat from Earth's core as a step that comes before convection. So from heat from the core, what comes next? Okay, here are our steps. Rock is heated in the lower parts of the mantle. Old parts of the plates sink downward. Rising hot rock forms new crust, which moves the old crust. The rock becomes less dense and rises. So you need to put those in order. Heat from Earth's core. What comes next? Then after that, then after that, then after that. Kib learns how rocks change from one type into another over a long period of time. She knows that a rock that undergoes extreme heat and pressure below the surface of Earth can be turned into a metamorphic rock. What processes could cause a metamorphic rock to return to the surface of Earth to be worn down again? What processes can cause metamorphic rock to go back to the surface? You need to choose two that apply. Is it deposition, plate movement, chemical changes, wind or water erosion? All right, last question in section 3. Some students are learning about the layers of Earth and are comparing the asthenosphere and the lithosphere. Place a check next to each description in the correct column. So we again have descriptions. You need to tell me, does it belong to the lithosphere, which is the first column, or the asthenosphere, which is the second column? The first description contains flexible rock under intense pressure, includes the top layer of the ocean, and contains rock that is solid and hard. Don't forget, you can rewind me to reread any questions throughout this entire test. Otherwise, when you are done with your test, go ahead and click that submit button.